Welcome to Zombie Advisor with James Knapp, the only podcast where being undead isn't an excuse for being unresponsive. This is the space where financial advisors and clients come together to break free from the old, slow-moving reactionary system. Tune in as we shake the dust off of outdated practices, dissect what really matters to today's clients, and tap into the brains of industry leaders who are actually alive, alert, and crushing it.
Welcome back, zombie listeners. Today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. The weather in St. Paul, Minnesota today is rainy and 75 degrees. July has historically been one of the strongest months for stocks. Since 1990, the NASDAQ 100 has been the standout performer, averaging gains of about 2.1% during the month, while the S&P 500 has averaged about 1.4%. Even more interesting, the first trading day of July has been remarkably bullish, with the S&P 500 finishing higher in nearly 90% of the last 3 decades. My guest today is one of the people actively waking up the financial advisory industry from its technology-induced coma. When most advisors think CRM, they think data entry. When Thomas Clawson thinks CRM, he thinks intelligence, automation, relationships, and the future of advice. Thomas is the founder of Slant CRM, one of the fastest growing AI native platforms built specifically for financial advisors. His vision is simple but powerful. Advisors shouldn't spend their days feeding software. Software should help advisors deepen relationships, uncover opportunities, and serve clients at its highest level. Welcome to the show, Thomas. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, James. Thrilled to be here. This is a blast.
Yeah, it's so great. We only switched over to working with you guys about a little over a month ago. And in that time, we flew down to Salt Lake City to visit with you, and it was so fun. Greg and I had a blast. And so I'm happy that you're able to join us on this show today.
No, absolutely. We're all about, our motto is relationships matter. So we got to see our people in person and get to know what they want to do and make the tool better. We got 2 mottos here: talk to customers and write code. So we're doing them.
You're doing both of those. All right, take me through it. So you're at BYU, you graduate from BYU, and then what do you do after that?
Yeah. You know, I didn't, as much as I thought I wanted to be an astronaut as a kid growing up, I didn't say like CRM wealth tech founder, as a 10-year-old. So it was a journey to get here. I graduated BYU. I worked at a company called Podium, a really fast growing unicorn, private $1 billion company here. Was there when they were before that valuation and grew really quickly, worked with awesome people. And then after that, went to a company called Whatnot. That was another super hyper fast growing, great business. And then my buddy Max, who I had known from BYU, him and I, while we were at school, we always had ideas. We always tried things. None of them ever really worked. But we knew we liked working together. They say like 9 out of 10 businesses fail. So the joke for Max and I was, well, we probably just got to start 10 and eventually one will stick. And so we started 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, we started our company, which is Pageport Inc., and the first product called Pageport. And then we went on a journey of listening to users and trying to build the right thing. And just under a year ago, launched Slant, and now we're here.
Yeah, amazing journey. So my understanding was about August of last year, you decided to get in the CRM business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the opportunity you saw to do that?
Yeah. Our first product that we launched was called Pageport. It was marketing automation. Mm-hmm. It grew really quickly with advisors unexpectedly. Like people who did Smart Asset or Dave Ramsey, they were all in on using this marketing automation tool. So we integrated with Redtail, Wealthbox, and Salesforce, and we had an understanding of, okay, what do these tools do? What do they not? It did a lot of the things it didn't. And we'd get questions every day like, hey, when I add a tag in Redtail, can I send an email? Or like simple things I would think, yeah, of course you should be able to do that. But the answer inevitably was no. Can I build a workflow that does this thing? No. Can I do X, Y, and Z action Wealthbox automatically? No. And so we had grown that business. It was going well. And Max and I had a good long, well, what do we think we want to accomplish next? Do we want to, you can have kind of a lifestyle tech company. You can try to really scale. And we're like, well, we really had ambitions to do something really big. And we said, okay, great. With that, what do we know? Where do we know there's pain? So we looked at our support chats, and we had given answers over like 400 times that said, you need to go figure that out with your CRM. That's not our thing. And that was pretty good intel for us. And then we started having people who were trying to use Pageport as a CRM, which was really unexpected. They're like, hey, how do I add social security number? And I was like, don't. This is for email automation. Like, you don't want to email that to anybody. And so began this journey of really experimenting with CRM. And we went into, I'd call it, into a cave beginning of 2025 of like, AI is changing the world. We know advisors, we know some of the problems. What does it take? And it was 8 months, beginning of year through August of, we did put the whole company on Slant. So no more selling the old product. All this, everyone was like a researcher or an engineer, digging in. And then we launched in August. And the beauty of being CRM, like, our big opinion is the only way to effectively deliver AI to an advisor is going to be inside a system of record. So adding it on is only going to get as far. How well is the connection? What are you willing to do? But when, like, hey, the documents are here, the tasks are here, our team is here, they do their job here, suddenly AI gets really, really powerful. So that's the journey to becoming CRM.
That's an amazing journey. What we've recognized basically from our side is the hub, or the life of what we live as an advisor, is actually in the client relationship management tool. The fact that you recognize that there were zombies in that workforce because you were saying, we can't do this, they have to. Voice of the customers asking the CRM to do this. They're not listening. Amazing. Just amazing. Over and over again. Like, how dense do you have to be to not wake up and say, please do this for me? It's an easy task. But I believe that their platforms were created before AI started. They didn't have the advantage of actually building an AI platform and putting a CRM system in it. Basically, I look at you guys as AI, fully automated AI today, and that's where you're going. Am I wrong?
No, we would consider ourselves an AI company. Our delivery mechanism is a CRM.
Yes, I would agree with that 100%. The beauty of the hard part about being an advisor is knowing what your customer is trying to do, right? So our clients are very diverse. We have a lot of customers. We have a lot of people that we deal with in a lot of different ways. What the CRM should be allowed to do is work with the data, collecting information from all sources of communication channels. So email, text messages, phone calls, Zoom calls, video conferencing, all that information. And then we need to have all the data that's correct. So the voice of truth. The truth is the data. And then we have a bunch of tools that we have to get it into to help our clients make what I call is hyper-educated or focus-based decisions with outcomes that they know are going to happen, or likelihood of outcomes that are going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
So,
Like, right? So how do you, not as being an advisor, put yourself into the user to learn that space? Take me through that, because that's got to be an amazing journey.
Yeah, we're like there's the phrase sometimes you hear in wealth tech, like by advisor for advisor.
Right.
And to me, I'm like a little like, well, I don't know. I think I want like surgery from a surgeon. Like,
yes.
Someone should be expert at something and deliver it to me. Like, I don't know. And so anyway, all that to say, we are not advisors here. We have to like know the customer deeply. So one of the best decisions we made was during that 2025 kind of research beta phase, early users. We had an advisor in our office every day.
Right.
There were 3 who rotated. There's an office in here that's empty. They can still come use it. Like, that's their space. And the goal there was like, well, maybe we have a question like, hey, how does this work in Schwab? Or when someone changes an address, what do you do in Altruist? Or whatever the question is. Like, hey, when in Wealthbox right now, we could just tap on the glass, tap their shoulder, and ask them. And then there's some problems that we know are like, how would I put it? There's some CRM problems that are just generic, like, okay, I need to track people. Okay, great. We can have our own opinion there. But then like, how do I track RMDs? Like, I don't know what that means,
Right.
initially. Now it's like my whole world. And you're like, okay, got it. Like, okay, like, oh, how often do you meet with your client? Like, that's a somewhat reasonable thing. Then when you deal with like, hey, we need to have an annual review, or like, how do I make sure what I gave them in the ADV is matching what I'm really billing? Like something, there's some serious like compliance. You could get an SEC audit type of question, and we have to learn that. And so our job is to listen to the user. So we try to have advisors in our office. We have like plenty on speed dial. Max and I just built a new dashboard where we can go see if we have a question about, let's say, chat, maybe chat's slow that day, or we want it to be better. Which users chatted the most the past few days? Great, let me call them. Or which users are sending the most emails out of Slant? Which users did the most meetings? Now I have a question about meeting. It's like, great, let me go right to the source. I think it's like good business in any industry. It's like, well, who should I, for an advisor, right? Like, well, how can I make our trading process better? Like, let me tell the person who's constantly buying a new car and I'm moving money for, like, they could probably give me some feedback on what's slow or what should be better. And I think that's the way to run that.
Hold up. Just a quick pause in the zombie action. You're listening to Zombie Advisor, and I'm so pumped you're here. Got a question? Want to challenge something I said? Head over to voyumwa.com or hit the show notes to find me. Don't be shy. I'm not actually undead.
Well, you brought up compliance, so I wanted to talk about that, right? So the biggest question we get asked probably the most over the last 5 years is, how is my data secure? So how did you solve that problem?
Yeah. And you're saying your client asks you that. Yeah. We have to be secure. Like the team makes fun of me, but I'll say advisors love the word fiduciary, right? Like, oh, we're got your best interest. We use the word every day. And I tell our team, we're the data fiduciary, right? It's the advisor's data, just like it's your client's money. But you guys take care of it. You'll make good decisions with it. We take care of it. We help you make good decisions with it. So one, we have to have, like, we're entirely US based. Our engineers are in the same building. They're not just in the States. They're right here. Okay. We have all of our data stored US facilities. So AWS East, right? Like that's where the best of the best put their stuff. Okay. So it's only our team, like background check, you name it, in office, all that. Data's in the US. Then I got to encrypt it, bank level encryption. Then what next? Okay. If you chat with the model, how do I make sure I don't send the PII to the model?
Right.
I need to take out the, like, hey, tell me about James's estate plan. Great. I don't want the model to see your name, your social, your address. I got to take all that out and then go to the model and then have that experience. But the advisor's experience should be seamless. They can ask about James. They can ask about those documents, ask about those things. So our job is constantly, right? And then we undergo a SOC 2 audit, and we have a penetration test, and there's all these million things we got to do to be on top of it. And I think more than anything, you great engineers. We have like world-class engineering talent who's, they can't sleep at night sometimes thinking about, like, how could this mess up? And like it's amazing that they think about those things. So
it is amazing. When I was there, that was the one thing that popped off. You guys are the anti-zombie company, start to finish, like top to bottom. Everybody in there is like not a zombie. They're trying to figure out what's best for the client at all costs every time, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. We get asked that question all the time. And then you have feeds that come in. So, Schwab is sending you data. We can do standing letter of authorization. We can move money through that. We're going to be able to work with other systems in the fintech world to be able to move our clients' money, basically. And it will be not automated, but, very robust, I would say, up to that point. How do you do that? How'd you figure out how to do all these things?
Yeah. I think you gotta, we like, Max and I really admired the Shopify founder, Toby Lutka, and he's awesome. And he has a good philosophy with Shopify, which, like, we need to make the hard things we need to make hard things really solvable and great, and then a lot of things possible. It's like, what are the most important problems? Like, as dumb as this one is, like tracking annual reviews, like which clients have we met with? Like, that's relatively simple. It weighs on every advisor's mind. Everyone's using a spreadsheet. It doesn't work. So like we made reviews a first-class citizen. Like, It's got its own table. It auto calculates. You can run automation on it. Like, okay, that's like a hard problem that we can just solve and try to make 10 times better. Now, like, oh, now the list of things everyone else wants to do, it gets massive, right? Like, how do I move money from here to there? Or how, like, we onboard our client, we do it way differently than everybody else. Great. I need to build like a system where you can build a project and go step by step and track your own team. And like, great, I need to give you like a chef the ingredients. So like, okay, what are all the tools I need to give people that also don't get in their way? We got to be opinionated. Like, hey, I forget that there was one this week. It's like, hey, I really need, like, when I get a reminder, I need to say I need a reminder twice. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not going to make the reminder twice button, but I like the idea. Like, you got to use just the reminder.
Does that same person hit the snooze button like 4 times in the morning? You know?
Yeah. But I think that is what we try to think through and solve is like, great, what are really core problems? So like you brought up custodian data. It is a ton of data. You got to wrangle with it. It has a lot in there. How do we process it in an amazing way, make it actionable? So someone at Boyum can log in and see, did we move money? Where are they at? I don't need to log in the custodian real quick. Okay, like off and running.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys are an AI company who is tackling a problem that's been existing my entire career. Like I've waited for this. It was like the Great Awakening. I think I said that in your office. I was like, oh man, you're finally here. I've been waiting this whole time. Where do you think AI is going to take us in the future now that you are experiencing it real time with customers? What do you think the next 3 to 5 years is going to look like for us?
Yeah, next 3 to 5, it gets exciting. I mean, Advisor is a great business for AI because you have 2 sides of the coin. You have, you interface with clients who want to interface with a human. Like you're kind of AI proof in that sense. And then the other side, you have like, you have to fill out a million forms and follow a lot of checklists to be compliant. And so you have like, great, you have like an AI proof side and a like AI desperate to solve. I think back office looks drastically different next 3 to 5 years. And that might not be that the core systems change. Let's say like, you know, a lot of people like, hey, we're going to keep money in Schwab and have to do things in there. Or we, you know, you have to follow some antiquated system to confirm moving money or whatever it is. The rules may not change, but we're going to keep building and having tools to get so much of it done for the advisor. So like, oh, I want to move money. Boom. Like, well, we already have the verbal confirmation from this meeting. You can check that off. You know, the paperwork, we've already filled it with this data, you know, 9 steps. Like, maybe it's a 12-step process. I think like, can 9, 10, maybe 11 get done of those? And like, okay, you have to do 1 and it's pretty straightforward. And then like the future of giving advice is super interesting. Like we recently pushed what we call like document generation. You can make a beautiful PDF from your meeting or, hey, analyze this estate plan and give me a printout. Like I want the Goldman or JP Morgan, like private client, super ultra net worth experience. Like it's branded, it's beautiful. They feel super taken care of. It's like, there's no way I'd leave. Like, can I give that to the 10, 25, 1-person shop where it's like, dude, I am getting the best advice, the best experience. The documents look professional. Like the amount of little things you can do to fully elevate that. Oh, wow. I walked in, they had my favorite drink ready and the right music or what, like who knows the level of service that gets to, but AI makes that really, really possible. And then I think the business fully becomes like, you know, everyone's always, you know, how do you, like the phrase I hear from a lot of advisors, like justify the fee, right? Like, okay, am I giving great advice? Am I analyzing an estate plan? Am I doing all these tools I think that have been tacked on? Now it's time to like, great, let's consolidate, give you one place to do it excellently.
Yeah, we call it the one call service model, but you're actually enabling us to do that. Like I could see getting the source of truth being in Ignite. We use Ignite, and that source of truth is the data, and then that information runs the loop into their tax return, and we get to see that ahead of time. So now we're doing tax planning year in advance using W-2s and data that we're receiving from Schwab. And so
what's real-time data coming in? Hey, tax planner, I got a sense of what you're going to talk about. Like,
right, here's some information for you. And by the way, if we make these 3 changes, it saves you $15,000 in taxes today. And it's like, that's real. That's that's a value add that you can actually measure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that advisors are doing these things. Great advisors are doing many things. A lot of advisors want to help their clients as much as possible, but they don't have the time or the tools to do it. And I believe Slant makes that possible.
That's awesome. And like when we dig in on where that can be, like there's so many things that make that, like, hey, once they're a client, we try to go find their LinkedIn. If they change a job, I'm going to tell you, advisor, like you don't have time. Hopefully you don't have time to be on LinkedIn all day, right? Advisors. Be on, like, great. Like now, okay, they changed a job. They have a 401k. We knew all this.
Mm-hmm.
Send them an email. Say, great, let's roll it over. Let's do accomplish X, Y, and Z. Or like the version that we really like, hey, we're scraping constantly obituaries and generating a slight family tree. Like, hey, Thomas, I saw, your mom passed away. I'm so sorry. I saw the obituary. I hope everything's okay. If you need anything, we're here to help. Like, we sent you flowers for the funeral home. Like, okay, like you just made yourself that advisor forever. As long as you keep doing the important, like, give the signal of like, hey, I really care. I can really be here for you in any of these things. Cause that's what they're picking. You think about the history of financial advice. Like I'm trying to study that right now. I'm reading like, how did Charles Schwab come to be, like all these little things, but like you start like, okay, at one point it's like, well, I needed a broker to get an asset. And then it's like, great. Like now I have this RIA model and why should I pick this person instead of the robo? And like, you go through the whole journey, like, well, does the person treat me great? Do I love working with them? Have they helped me with not just my investments, but my taxes and my estate plan and all these things like that? The bar's going to keep going up. And so what do you need to do to be top shelf?
Relevant. In the book, did he talk about playing tennis with Kravitz and asking him for money, and Kravitz was starting KKR the same day? Did he talk
No
about
way.
that?
I haven't gone.
We'll have to. That's another podcast for a different day, folks. But we'll get into that whole story. I did meet Chuck one time early on when we switched over. So I asked him, and he was standing next to Kravitz. It's the funniest story. We'll get.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah, it was a funny day. This was awesome. We could go on for hours. It's amazing to pick your brain. I'm so happy we get to work with you, and I'm happy that we switched over to Slant. Thomas isn't your typical software founder. You can just tell that by working with him. All right. Thanks again, Tom, for joining us today and sharing your insights. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Listeners, we truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on YouTube and subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast so you never miss a future conversation. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to The Zombie Advisor with James Knapp. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. Want to learn more? Visit us at boyumwa.com, BOYUMWA.com, or give us a call at 651-289-6444. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Boyum Wealth Architects. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional investing advice. Always consult your financial advisor or other qualified service providers with any questions you may have regarding your personal investment planning.